Hello everyone and welcome back. I thought this video that I would show you guys a game that I've been playing uh, a fair bit of. I don't think I'm really going to do a series of it because well, we'll get into that later. This is a board game called Terra Mystica, which came out in 2013, very highly reviewed on Board Game Geek. I played it a few times, I don't know, something like 5 years ago or something, in person. And I only recently realized, hey, since everyone's locked in their houses for the next 100 months or whatever, I should go looking for digital versions of board games. And so there's this, right? This is an app that's on Steam and I think mobile platforms. This is basically a port of a mobile game, so I assume it's on all the mobile platforms. There's also free online play versus the AI, which is honestly more functional than the Steam app, but a lot less pretty. So we're going to be playing with the Steam app today while I show you guys what's going on. And an online play by email with humans, where games take like weeks or months. I don't know. I've only recently started, so I've not yet finished a game. But that would be cool, I think, to show you. But the time frame is just so long for a single game. It would involve so much editing. I'm just not going to do that. So instead, we're going to get started here. I'm playing against easy bots, mostly just because it takes less time. Although, actually, I'm going to be doing a lot of talking. Let's put it up to 10 seconds. Even on 15 seconds, the bots are atrociously bad, so it doesn't really matter in terms of having a good game, whether you play on 5 or 15. But we'll do 10 here. Maybe they'll play a little bit better, and it'll give me some time to talk. I'm not going to assume necessarily that you know everything about the game, but I also will not assume that you know nothing. Terra Mystica is a heavy board game with a lot of rules, and to start by just explaining every rule would take too long, and there's already a lot of videos out there that do that. I will kind of explain some beginner level stuff because honestly I am still a beginner, but in particular what it is I'm thinking of doing, and when something happens I'll try to explain why, but I'm not going to start by explaining all the rules. So if you want to know the rules before you start, go watch someone else's video. So this is the map that we're playing on. It was printed as a board game, so this is actually the static map. It looks like it could have been randomly generated, but it wasn't. There's 7 different terrain types, and you get to choose. You choose what kind of faction you play as, and each one has an affinity for a certain terrain type, and you're kind of transforming the board to make it more like your stuff, so you can settle on it. Player 1 has chosen the Fakirs. Fakirs? I don't know how to pronounce Fakirs. Fakirs? Fakirs? Who knows? They're pretty awful most of the time. But they like yellow. So we can choose anything except the other yellow faction. There's 2 factions for each color. What's important to look at is the board is static, but games aren't static because every game you get a random selection of these bonus tiles, which give you some small improvement every turn. You kind of have to pick one for a turn, and then at the end of the turn you give it back and get a different one. And there are extra bonus cards that are not included in this game. We've taken 3 of them out. So that's some of the randomness. And the other randomness is that every turn there are kind of 2 global effects going on. On the left half, a way to get points. So this is the symbol for points. So for every trading post you place during round one, I should say, you get 3 points. For every town in round 2, you get 5 points. Temples in round 3, etc. And there's also an income half. This says for every 4 points that you have in the cult track of water, there's 4 cult tracks, 1 for each element. Earth, fire, water, earth, air. Where was I? Over here. Yeah, for every 4 points that you have at the end of the turn in water, you get a dig. Here, for every 4 points in water in earth, you get a dig. And then, for every priest you've put in the cult track, you get some coins. So this is the other thing that makes that makes every game different. This and the bonuses. So the idea is at the beginning of the game to look at the available bonuses and the available, what do they call this? Scoring tiles? Yeah. to try to find and come up with a faction that can take advantage of those well to get a high score. By the way, there's no music or anything playing. This game does have music and sound effects, but they get repetitive extremely quickly, as you would expect from a mobile game port, so I've just turned them off. If you want to listen to music, you should turn on your own music. That is my advice to you. Okay, so who are we going to play as? First thing is, let's look at the bonus tiles and see if there's anything there's like not a lot of, and try to find a faction that's good at dealing with that. Here, there are 4 bonus tiles that give you extra coins, and 2 of them are missing. So we're sort of low on coins, but the biggest one is still here. So it's like, I don't know. We have a slightly low number of coins, but not that low. We're missing one of the tiles that gives you a worker. What else would come on it? It's 1 worker and 3 power, right? And so we have 2 of the 3 things that give you power. So I don't know. I'm not very good at reading these. I do notice we have all 4 of the scoring tiles, so maybe it'll be a high scoring game. I don't know. We have the priests. So we're a little bit low on coins and like pretty average on workers and power, I think. And we have the priest tile. And who is it that we're playing against? It's the fuckiers, right? And as I recall, yeah, it was trading posts in turn 1. We're not going to be able to get any towns in turn 2, probably. It's pretty tall order. Yeah, and there's nope, Stronghold or Sanctuary bonuses until the very end, so we want to pick a faction that doesn't have super amazing Stronghold or Sanctuary effects, so that they don't mind putting it off. And also there's no like dwelling bonuses for quite a while, so if we could find a faction that does well with a small number of buildings, we could just build a couple trading posts and like, you know, I'm not sure exactly. Obviously, it's like, this is kind of an engine building game, so like building a building gives you more stuff for all of the remaining turns, and so you want to build stuff anyway. But you especially want to build stuff when there's a bonus for it. And sometimes it can be worth putting something off, even when you could afford to build it, and it would give you more resources, if you can like delay it by 1 turn and get slightly fewer resources, but more points. So I don't think we could really stand to put off all our dwellings until turn 4. They're kind of the most basic thing you have to build. But yeah, if we don't really need a stronghold, that would be nice. So all that said, where's the choice? Yeah. So all that being said, I'm not very good at cultists, but it seems like they might fit pretty well here. Their stronghold bonus is completely bland. You just get 7 points when you build it, so it's very happy to be delayed. They love building trading posts early because you want to build trading posts adjacent to other players, and cultists love it when when you build things near other players. So we want to do that as like an early thing. That kind of makes some sense. And it was 4 water for digs and 4 shovels for digs. Yeah. So also these are very expensive income things. They're like 4 and not 2 or 1. And cultists are good at getting cult track upgrades. So that seems like a reasonable option we could choose. The other factions that I have in mind are like the Darklings, which are just very strong in general and don't seem particularly negatively impacted by any of the bonus actions available. Or rather, any of the ones that are missing. Yeah, I think we'll go with cultists. I've only played cultists once or twice, and I believe I lost even to. I don't remember actually. What did happen? Did I give up that game, or maybe I decided not to play them? I think I decided not to play them. Yeah. So okay. It's a little bit awkward that we're adjacent to yellow, which is the only other color that's already been chosen. It means we might have a bit of a struggle on our hands for territory. So the idea is like, there are ways you can gain These are called spades, but I call them a lot. I don't know. They're often called shovels. Who knows? Or just digs. You can spend a dig to rotate to have a tile on the board change kind by 1 on this wheel in either direction. So it costs 1 spade to turn yellow into brown or brown into yellow, but it costs 2 spades to turn like blue into brown. So yellow is going to be like transforming a lot of brown and a lot of red, which means they'll be taking away our brown. We need brown for the brown. So it's kind of downside to be adjacent to them, but I think the cultists are pretty good overall right now. And we just like don't necessarily have to settle next to the fakirs. We could try to settle next to someone else. All right, so the other two we got are swarmlings and dwarves. What is brown adjacent to? It's adjacent to black and yellow, right? Yeah. So our best neighbors would be dwarves and, well, really dwarves. But swarmlings would be fine too. So we want to place, and we really, really want neighbors as the cultist's bonus ability is, well, it's easier to read as text. So a core mechanic of this game is when you build something adjacent to another player, that player may spend victory points to gain power. And you can use that power to take very, very impactful actions. And so, like, yeah, you spent some victory points, but you got something that will snowball you to get you more victory points later. Everyone has that. The cultists have the special feature that when anyone takes power as a result of you doing something, you get an additional bonus. Most other factions don't get any bonus for that. And our stronghold is just lame. So cool. So anyway, the point is we really, really, really want to have neighbors. Because I mean, you generally want neighbors anyway early on. On the one hand, you're fighting for territory, so you don't want neighbors. But on the other, there's advantages to being next to someone. You get power from them, and it's cheaper to build trading posts. So anyway, if we want to be next to the dwarves, something down here is pretty appealing. And this is a pretty fine spot for cultists anyway, I think. Right? There's lots of brown and yellow nearby. So like this is a pretty strong spot. These are also looking fine. You know, it's closer to where the dwarves might... Like, the dwarves will almost certainly pick one of these three. It's a very good spot for the dwarves. And so it's just a question of making sure I get next to whatever one they pick. And I think this is pretty good. Right, so black and brown, right? Yeah, I need to pop up this little wheel. I still don't have these, like, totally memorized. I think we'll go here. And plan to expand up this way. Try to grab like this stuff. Yeah. So at the beginning of the game, each player places one settlement or dwelling, and then in reverse order you do it again. So we place one yellow, brown, blue, gray, gray, blue, brown, yellow. It's flashing at me to remind me to end my turn. Oh, you guys can't see the bottom of the screen. Pardon me. Well, I don't think there was anything important on the screen before this. So let's see. How do I... Oop, there you go. Actually, that bottom part is just so awful. How do I make it go away? Doop. There you go. Now you can just see a little bit of it. I could even try... whatever. That's fine. Honestly, whatever. You guys can just have the whole screen. Putting some black at the top so that you can't see this is just silly. Anyways, so on your turn, you can undo stuff as much as you like. This is like the commit button, and it's flashing to remind you you have to press it. All right, so what are the other guys going to do? Again, I'd really, really like both of my initial dwellings to be adjacent to at least one other player, but really as many as possible. All right. I mean, that's not my favorite spot, but if I had to, I could go here probably. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, but this is fine. For me, I don't mind putting my second dwelling here. The problem is just that this one's not going to be adjacent to anybody, which I hate. I don't know why the dwarves would do this. Like I told you, the AI is very bad. This is just... I don't know. I see the dwarves place here all the time, but it's like insane. Why would you do it? Gray is like... Gray is next to red and green, so I don't know. I guess it's not insane. You can go here. It's not that bad. But it's very committal, right? Like, you need to get this tile and this tile, or else your development kind of sucks. You risk being cut off. Okay, so I like this. It's adjacent to the dwarves, whom I like very much. It expands a little bit towards the fakirs, but I should have enough space. You'd like, ideally, to get eventually at least 4 connected buildings. And so like I'm looking at these 4 here as the ones that I'm the most excited about in this area. It's going to be tough to connect that up with this. You get points for having like dwellings or structures connected to each other, either by being built next to each other or by being able to use this river as like a shipping lane. You have to pay for the privilege of doing that with the river, but you can do it. Yeah, but this is really I really need a neighbor, and there might be some problems later up here, but I can work with those. If I don't go here, like, I'm sort of just dead. This is, I think, definitely worse. All right, so there's our second dwelling, and maybe the swarmlings will be so mad as to go down here, because like they... Oh, I'm sorry, the fakirs. No, right. The fakirs can't place their second dwelling near us unless they take this. I would really hate that. But that seems like not a great idea for them. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't hate it. It would be another neighbor, right? All right, so now we're into the first actual turn of the game. Or no, we're not. The fakirs are still placing. After that, we're going to have to pick bonus tiles. Okay, so they're over there. Fine. I don't mind that. Now we're each choosing a bonus tile for the first turn, first round. The dwarves have taken this one, which gives you points for dwellings. Seems reasonable. I'm kind of inclined to take workers and trading post points because I want to build at least one. Oh no, I'm third. Yeah, the swarmlings took that. Okay, that seems quite reasonable. How am I going to expand out of here? Like, ugh. This AI is so unpredictable. And also I'm bad at cultists, so I don't know. Maybe I'm pretty sure the dwarves should have gone down here. I don't know what they were thinking. They're good at like tunneling as well, so they can actually skip over tiles, meaning they don't have to worry about the fact that these are not maybe so suitable for them. I should probably just take the 2 workers, right? Yeah. Since I'm planning to build some trading posts, which give you good money, or gold income. I guess they're called coins. Good coin income, but bad worker income. This will help me keep up a bit with my worker count. Yeah, seems fair. So as I mentioned, the game proceeds over the course of 6 rounds. I don't know. It'll probably take like... It would take me an hour probably normally. It'll probably take longer if we're explaining what's going on. So my bet is we'll do the first 3 rounds in a single video and then a second video for the next 3 rounds. So we're getting all the start of turn income from basically our dwellings. Yes, power actions. So we haven't talked about power yet, except briefly in passing. It's this like purple token that you get, and you get more of it for people building near... Oh! I wish I could get over there in a hurry. They've made it brown. Okay, sure. That's such a weird play. Why wouldn't you just grab this yellow one? Or red one? It's very easy for you. So you get power mostly by like income from some of your buildings. Actually, let's look at our player board. Yeah, so this hand symbol means you get something at the beginning of the turn. So right now we're getting 2, 3 workers, and 0 coins. And that should, yeah, this number 3, 0, yeah. So we have 8 workers, and we're getting 3 every turn. And if we were to build another dwelling, we would gain 1 additional worker per turn. These trading posts give you coins and power. So trading posts and stronghold are one of the big ways to gain power. The other one is like sharing with when other players build stuff near you, you get power. Why was I talking about power again? Ah, yes, power actions. So every round there are 6 actions, and they're always the same 6, which you can only perform by spending power. And they're quite powerful actions. You know, it doesn't look that amazing. You just dug 1, but like actually digging is pretty hard to do, and so being able to do it by spending power is pretty useful. And you can only be done once, so no one else this turn can use this power action to dig. They would have to dig some other way if they wanted to. Okay, anyway, it's quite clear what first action is. We're building a trading post here. So trading posts cost 2 workers. Oops, I was trying to show you guys the player mat again. They cost 2 workers and either 3 or 6 coins. It costs 3 if you're adjacent to another player and 6 otherwise. So that's one reason it's really useful to have neighbors. I think maybe the dwarves actually were right to play up here because they don't want to... The cultists are especially desirous of neighbors, and maybe they just don't want to help me out. It's not unreasonable, I guess. Anyway, so we'll upgrade this. Excuse me? I am definitely not missing any resources. Sometimes it just doesn't understand what resources you have. I don't know under what circumstances, but you like zoom back out and you zoom in. It's like, oh yeah, of course, you can pay for that. So not the greatest app. Okay, so we'll upgrade this. And the dwarves will gain 1 power in response. Oh, right, and we got 3 points for... in the log here. I chose to upgrade the building. I earned 3 victory points because, remember, the round scoring tile says when you build a trading post, gain 3 points. Cool. Then the dwarves, you always have a choice. You don't have to gain power. But if you do, you gain an amount of power, which is X. I'll explain what X is in a minute. And you must pay X minus 1 victory points. So if you can gain 1, it's actually free. And X is kind of like the more and larger buildings you have adjacent to the building that the other player just built, the more power you get. They just had this dwelling, so you got 1. Anyway, so they chose to gain power, which means we get to use our cultist's special action. Remember, when another player gains power due to your activity, you get to advance 1 space on the cult track of your choice. So that's why it's showing us the cult track and asking us to pick. It would be very nice to get up to 4 water this turn if we possibly could. And yeah, we could totally do that if we had to. I'm not sure the best way to do it necessarily, but like there's a few options. Right now we only get to advance 1, but water seems like a good one to start. Remember I said 4 because you get a dig if you have 4 water, and later we'll get a priest for having 4 water. So what I may want to do then is buy a priest at some point this turn and just dump him into water for the points. Or for the cult advancement. I don't know the right word for that. Progress, maybe? Anyway, I don't know what just happened. Right, the Swarmlings built a trading post. They're almost certainly going to upgrade this to a stronghold this turn because the Swarmling special ability that you get from your stronghold is very good. Okay, so the dwarves have upgraded this to a trading post, and we now may choose, do you want to gain 2 power for 1 victory point? Absolutely. Victory points don't do anything till the end of the game, right? But power lets you snowball, so I'll take it. I'm still bummed about this dwelling over here. The Fakirs are upgrading to a trading post as well. Yep, so everyone's done that. And the Swarmlings chose to gain power. Sure, of course they did. So, do we want that priest now? It might not be there, right? If we let someone else have a go, they might take this power action. So okay, let's talk briefly about how power works. You start with 12. You have 3 bowls in which power can be. You start with 12 tokens, and everyone starts with 12 tokens, but they're in different places. You can only spend power that's in bowl 3, and when you gain power, it like kind of moves clockwise. So like it moves from bowl 1 if there is any into 2. If there's none in 1, then it moves from 2 into 3. So every in order to spend a power, you have to gain 2 power, kind of. You have to move it from 1 into 2 and then into 3. So right now I have 0 in bowl 3, which means like I can't take power actions, right? Well, if you want to, you can quickly advance some power from 2 into 3. And what you must, to pay for that privilege, you must throw away some of your power tokens permanently. So you can like throw away a power token from 3. Don't put it back into 1, which is where stuff normally goes if you spend it, but actually throw it away to move 1 into 3. And I could do this 3 times and then have 3 power available to take this priest power action. And I'm going to do that. I would really like to get a priest. It's a little bit scary to burn power, but I think that's like a thing that expert players do very often on turn 1 is burn some of their power to get these powerful. That's a weird play. To get some of these power actions early so they can start snowballing it. The Swarmlings almost certainly should have upgraded to their Stronghold instead, since the Stronghold special ability that they would get lets them make a trading post like for free. So why would you pay a disgusting amount for a trading post with no neighbors when you could just get one for free? For dwarves, sure. I don't know. Like putting a trading post there seems pretty reasonable. It's the trading post scoring round, and you're not going to get neighbors anytime soon. I might very well build one myself. But for the Swarmlings, it just made no sense. Why did they pay 3 coins? What did I miss? Oh, 3 extra coins for having no neighbors, sure. Also, why do these guys have so many points? What have they done so far? They built 2 trading posts. So, okay, I must have on the thing that, like, gives stronger factions fewer points to start, I guess. I thought I didn't have that on because I couldn't figure out how to turn it on, but... Like, I started with 20, and they seem to have started with, like, 33. Yeah, so that's the only explanation I can find. And Fakirs are known to be quite weak, so that would make sense. I didn't think cultists were very strong, but I don't know. What do I know? Okay, anyway, we have our priest. And there's no rush at the moment to spend him because no one else has any priests, so we don't have to worry about them getting there first. But at some point I plan to put him into water, where he'll be worth 3 points on the cult track, advancing me to 4. The other thing we could do would be to instead buy a temple this turn and gain, like, let's say the water 2 favor tile, which would give us 2 points in water immediately and the ability every turn to gain 1 point in anything we want. That seems kind of like overdoing it when you're the cultists already, though, right? Like... yeah. I think just like getting a priest is better, and we have better favor tiles we could pick. So how much like does it cost to, let's say, build the trading post here and I guess make this a temple? I'm not in love with the idea, but I need some priest income, and there are favorite tiles that are hotly contested. Like it probably makes sense to pick up Earth 1. It almost always does, and there's only 3 of them. So if everybody gets it, you don't want to be the last one. It's a bit of a bummer to buy a temple this turn because the bonus tile that I picked is... Oh no, I didn't get the trading post scoring tile. Great, yeah, so I'm thrilled to make this a temple, I think. Yeah, upgrade to a temple, please. And I think we do just want Earth 1. Every time you place a dwelling, get 2 points. And you tend to place a lot of dwellings over the course of a game. Like, I don't know, 10? At least 8? So this is quite a lot of points. And we get 1 point on Earth, which is nice because next turn we're going to want some Earth. Dwarves choosing to gain power. And as a result, I may also gain a cult track. But since we're putting our priest into water, we don't really need more water right now. Instead, I'm going to work on Earth to make sure that I can get there next turn. Get to 4. I've already got a plan for getting to 4. Sorry, what happened? Oh, I gained power. That's right. I want to show you guys the cult track. Yes. So whenever you pass over one of these little barriers on the cult track, you gain some power. I passed this one, so I got 1 power. What did the swarmlings do? Did they pass? Or did they... They must have done, right? No. What did they do? I missed it. Swarmlings, they built a bridge? Are you insane? I told you this AI is awful. This bridge makes very little sense. Like, why are you so excited to get to that green tile when you're already next to a different green tile? Green is lovely for swarmlings, but like they could grab this first. I don't think they're in a hurry to get here. Okay, whatever. And it's not great, but I do want the power, like the income from the trading post, and the trading post scoring bonus I have for the round. So I'll upgrade this. It costs a lot. Now the big downside of this is one that every other player is suffering from too. Having gotten rid of our dwellings, we no longer have much worker income, just the one that you kind of start with. So it's going to be a tough round next round when we don't really have any workers. Or we have very few. Why do I still have 2? I thought I spent them all. Ah, I gained 2 extra because the bonus tile that I picked at the beginning of this turn. That's right, that was my plan. I was like, oh, I'm not going to have many workers. Better grab some now for next round. Perfect. I also don't have many coins, which is a bummer. But I'll try to do something about that next round. Ooh. Dwarves want their stronghold already, huh? It's not that good. But obviously I'll take some power. So notice, remember, we had 5 power here and 4 here. We gained 2, which moved it from 1 into 2. Okay. So I'm ready to pass at my next action. I have 2 workers and 1 coin, but there's not really anything I can do with them. The Fakirs have passed, gaining... what bonus tile did they take? +6 coins. And because nobody took this bonus tile last turn, there was an additional coin placed on it. So they got 7 coins out of the deal. Pretty good. I would have loved to get this bonus tile if I could. Since I can't, what do I want? Shipping? Not really. Just a priest, I guess? Ugh. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer having to pass right now. Like, I would probably rather get either of these 2 bonus tiles, but I can't because the other players are currently holding them. So let's take a priest and a coin, I guess. Oh, I shouldn't pass yet. I need to spend my priest. That's right. That's very important. To get up to 4 water. So hopefully the dwarves will pass this turn, and maybe I can take their bonus tile. The Swarmlings will probably also pass, but like the dwarves kind of have to. The Swarmlings could maybe find something to do because they have enough power they could play around with, maybe. And so once you pass in a round, you're kind of done for the round, and once all the players have passed, the round ends. Okay, so now's my chance. Did I actually mean it when I said I wanted this? I think so, because what I want to do next round is place like a dwelling or two, right? I'm gaining a dig for free, so I'll have a place to put a dwelling. I'll have enough money and workers to place at least one. If I can place another, I'll be happy. I'm not sure that I can, but I can't really do anything with a priest at the moment, so just give me some points and a little money. Yeah, you have to. You can't choose to pass from that screen. You have to do it here. Here we go. Give me this, please. You can't keep the same bonus tile, so you always have to have a new one. Or you can like take A, then B, then A. But you can't just take A, then A. Okay, so do you want to use your free shovels? Yes, of course I do. We're adjacent to black and yellow, right? So we could start trying to move up towards the river here, but there's still really nothing going on. I would like this. I'd like to make progress in this direction. See if I can maybe like grab these tiles before the fakirs take them. Fakirs? I still don't know. Yeah, so let's turn this with our one shovel into brown. There you go. So that's the end of the first round. There are 6 of these rounds. It took us half an hour. Is it going to be a 3-hour series? Maybe. Oh, God, I hope not. Hopefully, I can move through things a little more quickly, explaining less. But also, there's kind of more to explain as, like, more actions become available. So we're all getting our income. Very lovely. And this round, it's, founding towns, which is like, no way. So a town is a set of at least 4 structures, all directly adjacent to each other. So like forming a contiguous chain, with a total power level of at least 7. Yeah, he grabs the coins, pretty good. Power level is it's indicated here. These top level structures are 3 power, middle is 2, and dwellings are 1. Power level also, it's called that because that's how much power you get when someone builds next to you. So like a dwelling gives you 1, a trading post gives you 2. So getting to 7 power on turn 2 is quite unlikely, right? We have enough resources to build 2 dwellings, but we have to also somehow find a way to like find land to put 2 dwellings on. One is very simple. It's right here. We could dig this, but it's 2 steps away on the color wheel. So it would cost us 2 shovels. And it's not really clear that we can get to them this turn. So we're probably only going to be able to build 1 dwelling this turn and not much else. I don't know. Maybe if I could gain enough power, I could double shovel. That's like pretty hard though. Oh, and we gained a bunch of points there because... Where does it show me? I earned 2. Oh, right. It's not a dwelling scoring round. I just have the dwelling favor tile. So we only gained 2, not a bunch. Yes, the fakirs have passed already. They're so short of workers, as is everybody. Round 2 is going to be a tough time. Nobody kept any dwellings on the board. Okay, taking the priest, sure. Not sure exactly what they want it for, but that's totally reasonable. Probably, actually, they want to put it into water, right? Into earth, I mean, to get up to 4. What did the dwarves do? They built a bridge also. The AI really has no idea. Yeah, building a bridge to an enemy is like a thing that they do, and it's completely insane. You use bridges to make two things directly adjacent, which, you know, usually you use that for your own towns. You want more structures to be directly adjacent so you can make a town out of them, so you build a bridge. You try not to have to do that, but you know, sometimes you just need bridges. Making these two directly adjacent, the only effect is that if the Fakirs upgrade this building, the dwarves will get to share power. And like the most upgrading they could ever do would be to a temple and then to a sanctuary. So at most, the dwarves are getting 6 power total out of this. And they're paying 4 points for it. And they had to pay 3 power. So like the best it can ever do is break even and cost yourself 4 victory points. Like, this is horrible. This is why the AI is so bad. They have no idea what they're doing. Like, this bridge was bad, but okay, maybe eventually you will actually want the bridge, and he just wanted to make sure there would be bridges available. Like, I don't know. Maybe there's a scenario where that could make sense, but this is just awful. Okay, so the question is, like, is there any way we could put a dwelling down somewhere? There is. We could, like, buy this power action, burning 4 power, terraform this, put a dwelling there. Big investment, probably not worth it. However, what we could do first is send our priest away to study in the Earth School. We only really get a bonus for getting up to 4, so it feels a bit wasteful. I was kind of hoping someone would let me share power, and then I could just move 1 up and use the priest for something else. But, you know, maybe we'll even get share power twice. No, everyone's out of stuff, so that won't happen. We're not getting to share any power this turn, so our priest really does have to go into Earth. And, you know, we'll at least get some power out of it, which we can maybe use to dig. And this shovel will help us get going over here. Once we can dig this area out, we'll be kind of on a roll, in a way. So, what did they do? Upgraded their shipping. All right, that's what they wanted the priest for. So let's talk briefly about shipping and digging. They're one of the things you can do with priests. Each player has a shipping and a digging track. So where is it? Here? No, here. You may pay 2 workers and a priest and 5 coins to make it cheaper for yourself to dig. This doesn't impact the power actions, but there's a way to gain shovels which you kind of try to avoid doing, which is spend a bunch of workers on them. If you are willing to, if you want to do that a lot, it's worth investing some priests and some workers and some coins to make it cheaper. To make it cost only 1 per shovel instead of 3. And you get points for doing that as well. Shipping you can upgrade, it's quite a bit cheaper, but it lets you use rivers to consider things kind of not quite directly adjacent, so they're not, you can't build towns with them, but they're like adjacent enough that you can kind of interact with them. For example, if we had 1 shipping, we can kind of pass over 1 river tile, and this would then be considered like sort of adjacent. We would be allowed to terraform it, we would be allowed to build dwellings there, and it would count for end of game like largest network of connected things, but it wouldn't be part of the same town. If we had 2 shipping, we could build on this tile, and if we had 3 shipping, we could build on like this tile, kind of going like so. The swarmlings are upgrading their shipping. It's really not clear why. The nearest thing that they might want to build on, they've already built a bridge to, so really quite a mystery. The big question for me is whether I should like burn some power to take this shovel action now. I could partially terraform this, then with my dig coming in, I could finish terraforming it. But there's no particular advantage to doing that now. I would rather dig get the free shovel, partially terraform it, and then at the beginning of next turn, finish it. It would also be really nice to be able to double shovel. See, it costs 4 power for one shovel and 6 power for two, so this is a very, very good discount if you can buy it all at once. And I'd be happy to like dig here and here or something. Oh. I probably should have... Well, no. These guys are never going to get to share any power with me because they're already maxed out. So there was not really a rush to build here. It would let them share power, and it would make it cheaper for me to make this into a trading post, but it's not really... Oh, you know, I should have. Because then I could make this into a trading post this turn, but I don't know. I kind of need workers, so whatever. Anyway, just thinking a lot here. I think that it's probably time to pass. There's not really anything else I can do. Still can't get this coin action. I could consider taking the one worker, but I have enough workers at the moment. I kind of just need some coins. So I'll take the one that comes with a priest, I guess, because there's a round... Next turn's income bonus is for priests, for having spent priests. So I'd like to get some of those. Slightly more than I would like 3 power, I think. I mean, 3 power would make it easier to double dig, which would be very nice. But also spending a priest would gain me some power, so yeah, let's just do that. I'm probably putting him, I guess, in water, so I can get this bonus. Or maybe fire, I don't know. Oh, that's not me. Okay, pass. And take the priest and the 2 coins. I gained 1 point for owning a dwelling at the end of the turn, which was the bonus tile I took last round. What's going on? What? They paid to terraform that into water? That's actually further away from... Oh no, the swarmlings must have... What just happened? Yeah, okay. I thought the fakirs had done that for some reason, but no, it was the swarmlings. Alright. Do I want to use my free shovels? Well, yes, absolutely I do. And I decided I'm putting it here. But actually, maybe I should put it here? This is a temple round, but I'm not building another temple. I just want to get access to these juicy brown tiles. So we'll just move it part of the way there to yellow. So notice that right now our projected coin income is 2. Because we have 1 trading post. But now that the round has started, it's adjusted to 6 because the game has noticed that I spent 2 priests and we're getting bonuses. So we should be able to spend 2 more and get at least 8 coins just from this bonus scoring tile alone. The fuckers have upgraded their digging as well? It's okay. Whatever. The dwarves are spending a priest on power, or air, I should say. And we still can't quite afford this. But if we start spending some priests, we'll gain power on the cult track, and that should open up the double dig to us. None of the other factions are anywhere near being able to take the double dig, so that's kind of reserved right now. And then we can just plop down a bunch of dwellings over here and hopefully ramp up our income. Probably fire is a good choice. For one thing, it's the only cult track where the 3 advancement space is still open. If we put a priest anywhere else, we could only get 2 points, 2 advancement steps. And furthermore, 3 is perfect because it gets us exactly to 4, which is next round's scoring tile income bonus. So I think that's a great place to start. And we gain 1 power for it. At this point, if we had to, we could take the double dig by burning 3 power to move 3 more up here. We'd then have 6. We'd have a total amount of power left in all bowls of 6, which is like, you know, kind of low. But as you can see, the other players have been burning quite a lot of power too. They've been burning too much, I think. You really don't want to have burnt this much so early. Sometimes it's playable, but you would try to avoid it. The Swarmlings have just burnt a bunch more power to get a priest. Honestly, kind of reasonable since there's a priest scoring coming up right now, and no obvious way for them to get more power this turn. They might just want to lock that in while they still can. Fakir is building a bridge to nowhere, I assume. Yeah, okay, here. They've both made the same completely boneheaded play. All right. So as I said, we could take the double dig here. But we have another priest that we're definitely going to spend. So we should probably gain power from that first. It's just a question of where to put him. Do we want to increase our fire more or our water? Those are the two most obvious choices. There's end of game scoring for being further advanced than the remaining players. So we could consider trying to compete on air. But we're currently quite far behind, and there's no compelling reason to do so. I would be happy enough to just win 3 cults. That would be quite good. And in fact, realistic, right? The cultists are very good at winning cult tracks. And none of the other players are. So none of the other factions playing in this game, right? If we were against the Orin or something, sure, they could probably win some cult tracks. So which of these do I want more? Probably the fire. It comes up sooner. And like a priest at the end of the game, it's like I will have spent a lot of priests already, and if I have more coming in at the end of the game. So okay, let's talk briefly about priests. The only thing we've done with priests so far is spend them on cult tracks, and there's actually 2 ways you can do that. You can put them in these slots here, and then you never get them back, or you can just So there's kind of 3 states a priest can be in. It starts off as in your pool of priests. You start off with 7. You can't use it. You don't have that priest, but it's kind of in the bank. So if you spend a priest in any way except for leaving him permanently on this cult track, like on one of these spaces, he goes back into your pool, and you can gain him again next time you have priest income. But if you spend a whole bunch of priests this way, your pool might become empty, and you'd be like, oh, I have 1 priest income, but there's no priests left for me to gain. So it's a slight downside to spend a bunch of priests. Usually you do it because you don't run out of priest pool, and you get better benefit from it. But I was thinking about that in the context of, like, if I put them into water, I'll be getting more priests at the end of the game, a time when I might not have enough priests left in my pool, or where it would be awkward to make sure I have enough priests left in my pool. So more water benefit may go to waste. And it comes later than additional fire benefit. So I think that I should be putting this priest into fire for those 2 reasons. I'm happy to spend him permanently to get a bigger advantage, as I have been previously. I'm not really worried about running out of priests. I might, near the end of the game, have trouble. I might need to start spending priests in smaller ways. But for now, I want to keep snowballing. And that got us 2 more power, which means it's going to be quite convenient to take double dig. We'll have to burn 1 power, but that's no big deal at all. We can dig here and here, and have many, many places available to put dwellings this turn. Although, next round is a dwelling scoring turn, so I probably shouldn't actually put the dwellings down. I should save up and then just unleash a giant pile of dwellings next turn for points. It means I'll gain fewer workers, right? If I built the dwelling this turn, I would get income from it 3 times instead of just 1, instead of just 2. So I would have 1 fewer worker total this game. But I would gain 2 additional points for each dwelling that I delay in this way. And that seems like a great, especially so late in the game. Like, I don't know. It's questionable. I'm not sure it's the best play, but I think it probably is. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take double dig, burning 1 power. And I'm going to terraform this. And I will not place a dwelling. And I will use my remaining free spade here to get started on this kind of town. This might be appealing, but I really just, like, I have enough fields up here to get over to a neighbor and flesh out this town. So I don't really need this space. This space could be useful. It unlocks even more dwelling space for me, right? So the next 2 turns, we want to be placing a bunch of dwellings. And placing dwellings next turn will give us a bunch of income of workers, which we can use to place dwellings on the following turn. Although, honestly, we're going to have enough. We're going to have, like, at least 6 workers next turn, and there's only 5 obvious places to put dwellings. Dwelling costing 1 worker and 2 coins. So we should be able to fill up all 5 of these spots next turn. Unless something weird happens. Like the Fakirs take one of these tiles for some reason. And if they do, it wouldn't be that big a deal. I would live with it. Okay, so have all the other players passed? No, the Swarmlings are still up. We're certainly passing here, though. We're getting a huge amount of coin income from all the priests we've invested. And we're passing with 4 workers instead of building dwellings just so we can get more points out of them, as I mentioned. I guess we could consider, if we really wanted to, like, if we wanted to build a dwelling, we could stall for a turn, make the Swarmlings pass out first, and then take their bonus tile. Right now they're on a very good bonus tile, which I would be very happy to have this next turn, actually. Right, it's worth like, how many dwellings am I going to have? 6? So it's worth 6 points. Maybe only 5, because I probably want to upgrade this to a trading post next turn as well. Yeah, but I would much rather take this than any of the available ones. They're all quite bad right now. Coins are fine. So yeah, I'm going to actually divert a little bit from the plan that I had so that I can wait until the Swarmlings have passed and then take their card. They really have to pass this coming. There's no actions they could legally take besides passing, so I know that this will work out. It's costing me 2 points, but it's gaining me the dwelling scoring tile, which is worth like 4 or 5. And it's gaining me a worker as well, because I'm building that dwelling a turn earlier. So I was willing to trade off points, but I'm actually gaining more points this way, and more workers. So very lovely. All right, let's pass. And I think that, where did it go? Here it is. Yes, give me this one. I think that this is, as I sort of predicted, a good time to cut the video. We're halfway through the game. It took almost exactly an hour. And in the next episode, we'll conclude this game, I guess. I don't know. Do we really want to do that? Let's just finish the game. How bad could it be? Nobody likes to watch the second half of a game, so we'll just do it all in one, and it'll be a bit long. It's not like I'm releasing videos every day anyway, right? Now, being the last one to pass did have the effect that we're going to be the last one to act this turn, as we have been in most turns. So that was a downside of the thing I did at the end there, but I think quite reasonable. I don't really need priority, so there's nothing that I'm dying to do, right? Like, if I had a bunch of power and I really wanted double dig and someone else was threatening to take it, you might consider passing early to lock it in. But that doesn't apply here. Right, the AI is just so dreadful. You might notice none of them have built any dwellings. Like, what? They're so bad. Now, in fairness, I've only built 2. But I'm about to put down a bunch more, and they're not really threatening to even do that. The Swarmlings, I guess, they should build a dwelling here. Oh, they don't have any coins. They don't have enough power to gain enough coins. Like, it's the worst. And they're just spending their workers on digging, right? So, like, the AI is just awful. I've mentioned numerous times. But, like, as I mentioned, I started one, like, play-by-email game online. And I just passed in round 2, and this was, like, I started the game a week ago. And I'm, like, definitely going to lose. Well, I certainly won't come first. I don't know if I'm going to come last out of the 4 players. I might. My plans have not been working out. Other players have been, like, seeing what I was trying to do and getting in the way, or otherwise taking advantage of me in ways that I could have predicted, but, like, was not really experienced enough to foresee. Whereas the AI just always lets you win. As I mentioned, there is a different online AI thing. I think if you search for Terra Mystica AI, you probably get there. And it has substantially stronger AI. It still usually loses to me, and I'm not an amazing player, but it beats me on occasion, and it puts up scores that are not embarrassing. Right? Like, it puts up scores in the 90s and the low 100s pretty often. And even, like, I saw a 120 or a 130, which is pretty good. That was the game where I came in 4th. I really do not understand how to play the Alchemists, apparently. Whereas in this game, they often put up scores of, like, 50. Now, you might notice right now my score is very low. But I'm not at all worried about winning because of the other things I've been working on. Right, I'm going to get a bunch of points for being first in a bunch of cult tracks. And since nobody else is building any buildings, I should come first in most connected buildings. And so if the game were to end right now, I would be in first, right? Even though my score currently is not very good. And it's about to get quite a lot better because I'm building all these dwellings and stuff, and I'm going to get a town soon. All right, and we have the favor tile for dwellings. It's the round scoring bonus for dwellings. And we have the bonus tile for dwellings. What do I want? I have 1 priest. And my pool of priests has 2 in it, so I own a total of 3. If I spend 1, I'll have 2 left. And next turn, I'm gaining at least 2 priests already, so I definitely don't want him in water. I'm getting to advance 1 because someone shared power with me. Well, at any rate, I don't want to, like, work on getting all the way up to 8 power in water, but maybe I want to advance for some other reason. Like to stay ahead of these guys. And I already, just putting down a priest here is enough to get me to 8 in fire, which is where I want to be. So I don't really need to advance in fire at the moment. Advancing in air might actually be pretty useful because the Fakirs are definitely winning it, but I can fairly cheaply pass these guys, perhaps. And, I mean, that could be worth as much as 4 points. Whereas, like, up here, it's certainly not worth any points, but might be worth some, but it'll be worth some power. So I'll go here and try to squeeze a couple points out of this cult track. And so, by the way, who was it that built something, that gave me something? The Fakirs upgraded... No. They placed a dwelling? Oh, no. I placed a dwelling, they gained power, and now... That's right, that's how this works. Yeah. And if the enemy chooses not to gain power when they could have if they wanted, cultists, instead of advancing on the cult track, they get like a consolation prize of gaining 1 power themselves. All right, the Fakir is taking the coin power action. Very lovely, I'm sure. We almost certainly want to make this a trading post. That would give us a town. What town bonus would we take? So when you found a town, you get to choose one of these tiles, and if I take this, nobody else can have it, right? But there's 2 of some of them, so you can have 2. So you gain points and also some other advantage. 9 points in a priest is usually quite good. At the moment, I kind of don't have a lot of space for priests or use for them. So probably I would be looking at workers, power, or coins. But I plan to have 6 worker income. So I probably don't want workers. Power or coins would be the thing then. And it's just a question of what do I need to make... No, don't go there. What do I need to make this into another town before the game is over? There's plenty of time for it, of course. But actually, I guess I'll only have 5 dwellings because I'm upgrading this. And we have a lot of coins at the moment, but it's going to cost a lot to build trading posts out here. So the other thing was we could maybe take power to get a double dig to make, but I only need a single dig to get this, and 4 is enough. So I'm thinking coins is probably the right answer for our town. Also, we're gaining 8 power from our fire cult progress next turn. So I should have all the power that I need. Yeah, so we want coins, I think. So let's upgrade this. And give me 5 points and 6 coins, please. It also gives me a key. The keys are often I don't know how often they matter in games with real human being players. Oh, I got to move up on the cult track again. Great. Put that into air, please. The keys, right? So these 10 points at the end, if you want to advance into this space, which gains you 3 power, you must spend 1 key for each 10 space you advance to. And once you are in, it is locked behind you. Nobody can follow you, even with another key. So this is a way to guarantee you win a cult track. I don't really anticipate spending any of my keys. There's no real chance of anyone passing me, and it's not likely to be worth my while to spend priests to get to 3 when I could be spending stuff on the air track to get points. Or at any rate, to ensure I keep the points that I'm not going to be passing the Fakirs. I'm just not going to do that. It's a huge investment for a modest gain. Right, and I can't even put priests here. So anyway, the point is, what was I saying? I probably won't be using any keys, but I just got a key, so I thought I should tell you what keys are all about. So this is now a town. Very nice. Any other dwellings built adjacent to this will also be part of that same town, which is not advantageous at all. It just means you can't use them to found another town. So your towns have to be not directly adjacent to each other, or else they're just one even larger town. All right, the other players have all passed, but we've got a million things left to do. Give me more dwellings, please. And in the final turn, we'll build a stronghold down here, which will be worth a bunch of points. A, because the cultist's stronghold ability has gained 7 points. B, because we'll do it with the stronghold scoring action in play. And also, it will help us make this into a town because, as you may recall, the strongholds are power level 3, so they count as 3 for the purposes of getting to 7 for a town. So we kind of want like 3 here and 3 total other buildings, which if they were all dwellings would be only 6. And then we'll just upgrade one of them to a trading post, and that'll be 7. That's how we're finishing this town. Right now, there's not much I can do except spend this priest. And the plan has always been to spend him on water, so let's fire. So let's do it. Boy, we've worked really hard to win fire, considering no one else was even trying. But it was to get all this power income. That was the idea. And we now have 2 priests in our pool only, which, since we're going to be gaining 2 priests as income at the end of next turn, we should not permanently send away any of our priests next turn. We should use them on something else. Perhaps upgrade digging? I don't know. Okay, so we're passing here. How do I do that? Pass. And well, I mean, I could do this and gain some power. This is a temporary, for 1 turn, increase in shipping, which helps you like kind of found a new town without having to invest a priest in upgrading your shipping. Right now, that would not do much good for me, right? Like, you can't really get anywhere good with 1 shipping from here. If I had like 3 shipping, I could connect these up and all be part of the same large network. But since none of the other players have a network of size larger than 1, it really is not going to matter. You know, like I said, the AI is pretty bad. You know, right? If we had 3 shipping, we could place a dwelling here and kind of connect up like this and connect up like this. Digging and shipping are kind of just ways to turn your priests into victory points at the end of the game if you haven't found anything better to do with them. So anyway, the point is I don't really want a priest. I don't need the shipping next turn. I could take the power. It's useful. It's something. But 2 points for trading post is kind of cool because I'm having to build at least 1 next turn. So this is like 2 points. Oh no, it's it's trading posts you own, not that you've built. So it should be worth like 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I should have two trading posts here and 1 up here. So this is 6 points. It's a great pickup. And I get a worker as well. Lovely. I just have to not found my town until next turn. Or, well, I could, if I wanted, I could found the town by building 2 trading posts out here. They're quite expensive, but if I'm getting 2 points for each of them, maybe it's fine. Okay. So what are they up to? Is anyone going to build any dwellings? The Swarmlings really should. They really should build dwellings here and here. They could actually... Nope, they're just going to pass. Choosing to do nothing this turn. Unbelievably bad. This is a dwelling scoring round. And they could even get up to a town if they like dwelling, transform, and then like next turn build a dwelling or something. They could even have gotten a town this turn if they... Well, no. So you need to have at least 4 buildings. You can't just, like... I guess I would need 3 dwellings and then turn this into a trading post. Okay, they couldn't do that this turn. Not easily, anyway. So I want the 1 spade power action just to dig this out. Is there anything else I want? Should I like grab the priest or the something else first? Someone's built a bridge already? Again? God. I don't know why. The AI goes nuts for building bridges out of this tile. And then they just never do anything with it. It's unreal. Apparently these are gray bridges and this is a yellow bridge, so I assume this guy built it? No. Why? I'm pretty sure the dwarves built this bridge. Why is... What do the colors mean? I've never zoomed in to look at bridges before. I thought for sure that the dwarves had built this bridge, but I guess the fakirs built it. Interesting. Not that it really matters. It was a bad idea for both of them. Even worse for the fakirs, actually. Right, so I have 7 power in bowl 3. So if I want one of these power actions to like lock it in, but I don't have to worry about it because no one else has enough power at the moment to take one of even a 3 cost. So I'll take this 4 myself now, and if I want, I can take another one later. Yes, place a dwelling. It is, after all, a dwelling scoring round. And that's how I'm going to get this to be a town, of course. Wow, they are fighting on Earth all of a sudden. Huh. Well, okay. Jeez. Well, I guess I should spend my priest there. Remember, I don't want to send him away permanently. Because I need to have 2 in my pool for next turn. But just one point out of my priest here is like useful. It gets me some power. It advances. And racing on this has actually started to matter a little bit. And this one too, to be honest. Water. I don't know. They both seem about equally good. Actually, it might be better to fight on water just because the 2 players behind me are a bit closer. Here there's more space to the 3rd place. So this one's going to be a tiny bit easier, a tiny bit harder to stay ahead in, so it's worth investing more in, I think. Yeah, I haven't been able to make much use of the cultist special ability because I haven't had many neighbors. So it really has turned out to be quite a bad faction choice. And we're going to get a pretty low score, all things considered. I mean, we'll get a pretty reasonable score just because the AI is awful, but not as much as we could have if we'd had a more useful faction. We've gained, what, like 3 or 4 cult track advances? Yeah, 4, I think. Maybe it was it only like 2? Because we got power from these guys twice, I'm sure. And here, I feel like we actually might have gotten 0. I think they were a temple when we got here. So, yeah. All we've gotten out of this is 2 cult steps. Really very, very useless as a faction. Right. So what else are we doing? You know, it might have been nice to actually take the double shovel just to, like, say, terraform this and put another dwelling down, because dwellings are great right now. But what can you do? I didn't do that, so instead I'll just put down 2 more trading posts. I have the trading post scoring bonus at the moment, and that's good. It would also let me score this as a town, which is nice. I need to make sure I still have enough to get the stronghold next turn, but it should be no trouble. Actually, I was going to say I could upgrade one of these. It's cheaper, but no, they're not adjacent to anyone either. So, okay, we'll just make this a trading post. Kind of sucks, but what can you do? I want a town. Fakirs are going to pass now, and that'll be everyone. I guess they could buy a priest if they really wanted. by burning 1 power. No. I'll just take some coins. Okay. I could gain some workers. I could buy some workers or some coins. I guess I'm really, like, not super short of either of those things. Are there any of these that I want badly right now as opposed to, like, next turn? Some power would be nice, actually, so that I could, like, double dig or something. I don't know. I can only really make use of 1 dig at the moment. This space. But it would be nice to get a dwelling down, you know? I mean, I don't know. I guess I could double dig here or something. Finish the town that way and put another dwelling here. Oh, that's an idea. Oh, but I have to finish the town to get the power. Okay. Huh. So finish town, take 8 power. I can't even spend 8 power at the moment. Or I can't even gain 8 power. They don't have room. I've only got room to gain 5. I could turn this into a coin or something. I could gain coins, burning 1 power. Then I'd have what? 3, 4, 6 power here and 2 here. Then if I were to gain 8, I would have 6 here and 2 here, which is not enough to double dig. So if I want to do that, I can't spend 4 power this turn. I can only spend, like, at most 3, I think. So maybe I'll just spend a little power, turn it into coins. Just enough that I don't overflow when I gain 8. Now I have room to gain up to 9 power without overflowing, so that's fine. Oh no, don't do it again. Ugh. Alright, restart the turn. I hate this UI, it is the worst. So give me this. Just once. The check mark looks so appealing, right? I'm done, but no, it means do it again. Now I have room, if I want, to gain 8 power. Right? Nope. I needed to do that a second time, actually. I can only gain... Oh, no, yeah, I can gain 3 and then 9. Yeah, okay. So let's just make this a trading post. Now we get a town. Give me the power. I want the power so I can double dig here so I can place more dwellings during the dwelling scoring round is why I was in a bit of a hurry to get this. Here, please. Maybe I could have organized things better so that I didn't need a second trading post here. I probably could have, but I'm not sure how I was going to gain more power exactly. And I will build another dwelling here, turning this 1 remaining power into a coin. It'll do that automatically for me here. It should tell me it's doing it, though. Whatever, it figured it out. Okay, there we go. Finally done with this round. And what are we passing with? Probably Sanctuary Stronghold scoring, because we're going to build the Stronghold this turn. This is 4 points. Nothing else is likely to be worth 4 points. This could be, I guess, if I were to upgrade shipping a couple times with my priests. This could be worth 6. But I don't have the coins to do that, really. Not if I'm also building a stronghold. So, which I want to because it's the round scoring bonus. So, I'll just take the Sanctuary Stronghold. And I got 8 points for what? For owning dwellings and... No, for owning 4 trading posts. Got it. Ah, so it wasn't so bad. That's right, to build those trading posts. It was I owned the trading posts, you know, score points for each trading post you have when you pass. I had that tile, so it was kind of useful to get that down this turn as well. This is like a sure sign of something gone wrong, though. 3 trading posts not adjacent to anyone. That kind of happens with the AI. You kind of have to do weird stuff because they don't make any sense and they don't really try to win. All right, so taking a priest, sure. And like, what am I doing next turn? The only thing that really matters is building my stronghold. I guess the rest is priests to contest the Earth Cult. I don't know why the dwarves are going so hard into priests, into Earth rather. But, you know, whatever, it's their problem. It might not even be worth it for me to contest. Maybe I could do better by... what am I saying? By, like, upgrading my digging or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's start with our stronghold here, and we'll work out later what we're doing with priests. There's not anything else I can... There's not any, like, decisions I have to make now. I can't take any of these power actions anyway, right? So... Just give me the stronghold. It's going to give me a bunch of points. A bunch of points. All right, we get 7 because that's, like, our stronghold's base ability. And we get 5 because it's a stronghold scoring round. And at the end of the turn, we'll get 4 more because I took the stronghold scoring bonus tile. What would be really nice, actually, is to make this a sanctuary. I don't think I have the money for that, right? It costs like what, 4.8 or 4.6 or something? I think 4.8. If I could gain a little power, maybe I could get there. Oh, look at that. They built a sanctuary during the sanctuary scoring round. Well done, guys. Yeah, maybe the fuckers will build a sanctuary, although it's pretty hard for them. Yeah, they can't. Oh no, they could turn their priest into a worker. Spend 2 power and burn another to get a 3rd worker. No, that's still just 3, and you need 4, right? Yeah, 4.6. That's a cheap sanctuary, isn't it? Or is that the normal cost for sanctuaries? Mine's 4.8. I'm not sure if that's... I think that's normal. Yeah, so... It's really kind of hard for me to materialize 8 coins out of nowhere to build this into a sanctuary, even though it would be worth so many points to me, right? It would be worth, like, 9 points. So the question then is just what to do with these priests. I could convert workers to coins and then advance shipping by 1, but it's worth like 2 points or something. Really not that amazing. Yeah, 2 points. So I should spend them instead on the cult tracks, the ones that I think I can still contest. I guess here. Actually, also, this will give me some power. And maybe I can use that to take some useful power actions. Like I could buy 7 coins with my remaining power after doing this. That's kind of nice. Yeah, and I believe both of the contestants are going to be out of priests now. There's just no way they can possibly get any... No, you could get another priest. You could, no, you're 1 power short. The priest power action costs 3, but it's gone. And the priest conversion action costs 5, which you don't have. So I think both of them are out of priests, and I can just like maximize my cult scores independently. And the swarmlings don't matter. They're not doing anything. Pass, right? I guess. They're taking... Oh, yeah, that makes sense, actually. They took the coin power action because... At the end of the game, you get points for having coins, and you can convert your power into coins, but at a rate of 1 per. This is just a way for them to more efficiently have resources at the end of the game. So even though I might have liked the coin action, they were not inclined to let me have it. The other thing I could do would be to put down a couple more dwellings. Maybe just one more. If I spent my power on a dig, then I could convert my priest into a worker and have like 6 total resources available, which I could spend on 2 dwellings for 4 points. So that's a thing I could do, is spend all my remaining resources on 4 points. Currently, my resources are worth like 3, though, right? I have 6 total stuff here, and another 4 here. That's 10. So that's already 3 points. So paying for this and building these 2 dwellings is only gaining me a net of 1 point. So if I can make this priest worth at least 1 point, then it's better. And I believe it is, right? This, right now, where is it? We're tied in Earth, getting 7 each. Oh, and advancing would get me 8. So that's actually like, that's just 1 point. So it comes out the same, huh? I can't do anything clever? Yeah, I guess. I don't have any weird favor tiles I've forgotten about. No, just Earth 1. It's the only one I ever built. That one temple. Okay, well, it doesn't seem to matter what I do, as long as I don't just pass. So I'll do the thing that costs the fewest actions. And this is good also because it takes points away from the dwarves, which the other actions would not do. Yes, this is substantially better. Not that we're really worried about the dwarves winning or anything. But to maximize the margin of victory, this is the right call. Building a sanctuary. Look at that. Everyone's building sanctuaries. Well, okay. 2 players. Oh! I've been robbed. They tied me on water. Wow, I was predicting I was going to win all these cult tracks, and now look at me. Well, whatever. I'll just pass. Then we can look at the actual final scores. Right? There's just really nothing I could want to do here. Yeah. So the game will automatically convert my remaining power, workers, and priests into coins, and then score the coins. And that'll be 9 coins, which is exactly enough to be worth 3 points. You divide by 3, rounding down. Wait, what? Where did he get the ability to move on the cult track again? Oh, they just had a priest and I didn't notice. Interesting. All right, so anyway, we killed him here. Look at this, 50 points. Embarrassing. And 6, really, in a game with any human players, would never be enough to get first place. You can see second place is a tie for 1. They basically did nothing. So, as I said, this was not a good example of like competitive level play. Just like kind of, hey, here's what the mechanics are. If you found any of this interesting, you might want to give it a try. As I said, the game is on Steam, I think for like $10. It has online play, and it has play against the computer. But as you see, the computer is pretty awful. If you want to play against the computer, I recommend the website. if you have people to play with in real time, this would probably be great. Certainly much cheaper than buying the physical box, which like it's got to be like $70 or something, right? Let me just find that out for you. If you were to buy it on Amazon, what would it cost you? It would cost you. It says list price is $80, but currently they're selling it for $60. I'm not totally sure like how believable a sale that is, or if they just always sell it for $60. Yeah. So and if you want to play against strong players and you don't mind that the game takes a couple weeks, there's terra.snellman.net, which you can just find by searching for like online Terra Mystica. And I don't imagine that I will do another Terra Mystica video on, this didn't seem like a great format for the channel, but I did want to share the game I've been playing since, everybody's kind of cooped up at home for the foreseeable future in many countries. And I've been playing this to pass the time. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.